Hey guys, Coldbrew here. Welcome back to another video. We have the Hydra Clash competition starting in, I think just under 9 hours from just under 8 hours, I think, from posting this video over on YouTube. We're going to have the live stream over on Dead with Jedi's website where I will be competing other content creators such as Hell Hades, Scratch, and YST. I think the ones that I'm fighting is basically YST and then possibly Scratch, but it's 8 of us fighting in the whole thing, and I won't have the chance to fight everybody. The way that this will be done is we're gonna be running Hydra teams against each other based on champions we have selected after a snake draft, which I can show you guys. Boom, right here on the Dead with Jedi's website. It's everyone is listed right here with the champions we picked. We didn't have the option to pick them all together at the same time, so you'll see some champions that might not, you might never have thought they could go into the Hydra. This is my team that I picked: Krisk, Tilag, Sifi, Mashalt, Gnishak, and Bivolt. You might not see them all together quite often, but for this one it actually worked to my favor. I would say, at least for Krisk, where I had the second pick. Everybody else has a very strong squad on their own. Everybody else managed to pick a very unique and strong champion. And the way that it went in terms of who I'm fighting today is people went over to the website here and voted who they thought would be the best draft in terms of champions and who would they think would win. So Scratch received the first vote with 26%. They think he's gonna win. Then it was, I believe, Nut Raids with 18%, Hell Hades 16, YST 16%, and then it was me with 9%, then Deadwood 5, MTG Jedi 4.6, and Odd One Gaming 4.8%. In terms of I think it's also popularity kind of thing here, but also the teams, it's not strictly popularity. I understand that, but I think my team is okay. I don't know why people didn't think my team so highly. Maybe they've never seen this kind of combo before. Maybe Tila, they've never seen Tila before, or maybe Gnishak, Mashalt. I don't know. I'll show you guys later on today on the stream. But after this was done, the rounds, the brackets were put like so. So Scratch is going to be fighting MTG Jedi today. So the first seed is fighting the 8th one. So it's going to be me versus YST. So 5th versus the 4th. And then on the other side of the board, we've got Nub Raids fighting Odd One Gaming, and then Hell Hades fighting Deadwood Jedi. So very, very interesting in terms of all these, all the possible scenarios that can happen. Because guys, this kind of draft will be very interesting. If I manage to win YST, so if my team here manages to win YST, who's running Tuhanak, Mishinagi, Sneak Track, Koronar, Walking Tomb Drang, and Marichka, then I'll be able to pick one of his champions to use in my own team. All right, if I manage to win him. The other interesting thing is, from the champions he has, I only have 3 of them. So even if I win, I'm basically have the option of only Mishinagi, Koronar, and Walking Tomb Drang, which basically Koronar would be the Provoke champion, which I don't need another Provoke champion. And so it's basically Walking Tomb Drang or Mishinagi for me. Both do their own thing. Walking Tomb Drang does activations of HP burn. Pretty much that's it. But Mishinagi has the most interesting kit. So if I won, this would be my pick from YST. And then I would be facing the winner between Scratch and MTG Jedi, where MTG Jedi has drafted for his first pick was Uko, then second Cardiel, Tumizia, Taraz, Ragash, Duadan. And out of these guys, I think I have the 3 legendary. So Uko, Tumizia. No, actually, Uko, Tumizia. I don't have Cardiel, I don't have Taraz, I don't have Ragash. If I fought MTG Jedi and won also that fight. So basically Tumizia and Uko, I would be able to pick. The epic I wouldn't pick. And I probably wouldn't pick any of these champions if I had the choice, because they don't fit in my specific squad. But then we have Scratch, who drafted the strongest team, as people think, because of the Tranda. I personally think because of the Tranda Kaimar, they think it will be, dishing out insane amounts of damage, which I can see possibly doing. with Supreme Gallic though. It's without Supreme Gallic, I don't think he would be able to do he will be able to do a lot of damage because it's Supreme Gallic in there helping with block buffs. The H3 burn activations will do some damage beforehand so that Trunda can actually start dropping down the heads. If you drop down the heads, then Trunda does insane amounts of damage. But the thing with the Hydra, guys, is how I think it's going to be. It's not going to go as anybody expects. This can go very bad for everybody. The reason is the Hydra is very unpredictable, I've found, is because of how the heads pop up. You don't know exactly which head is going to pop up. You don't always know which head will be taking the turn to devour one of your champions. So sometimes the heads wait and don't devour your champions before they do so. And if the timing is done so that they devour your champion at not the best timing, you might have an issue with the affinities. And also with the poison cloud. There's so much RNG in the Hydra, which I kind of love because it can mess everything up for everybody, including myself. Like in the sample runs that I've done so far, I haven't completed any run because we don't want to use up our keys. I've found that sometimes my buffs from my Krisk will be stolen, or my Bivold will be stolen from the Head of Mischief, which with the insane amount of resistance that I've built on them shouldn't be happening at all, but it happens. And if that happens, I'm basically in a bad position, I've found, in those runs. And you cannot do another run. Basically, the only chance we have to do will be basically the first 20 turns. I believe if in the first 20 turns you want to do a rerun, you can do that. That's the only chance you have to do a rerun. After that, you cannot go back. So that is how it works. So yeah, my team, I think it's gonna work out okay. The stream is gonna be long, but let me just show you on how everything drafted in the end. All right, so we had certain rules, like we couldn't use a Crazy or Grazur, that's why nobody picked them. And the way that the picks started, guys, is we had Hell Hades go first, right? So he went first after it was a random choice wheel. So Hell Hades was first in terms of which champion to pick. He picked Husk, all right? And then it was me, Krisk the Ageless. I'll just give you guys my thinking because for my view, there's only a couple of champions currently in the game that are extremely strong for the Hydra. And one of them is Krisk the Ageless. If you've got Krisk, then Hydra becomes not trivial, but it becomes much, much more manageable because of his decreased defense, decreased speed, decreased attack, provoke, ally protection buffs, and his self-healing that he has through his buffs. He has a shield at the start, but it's negligible. So he is an insane champion to have available for your for any kind of team to use. So I thought it's either Krisk or Duchess that I'm gonna be picking. With Duchess, I would have probably picked Duchess if the affinity we were on, if the rotation we were on for Hydra would have been one where I needed to have something like a Perfect Veil in the squad. Okay, so if the Perfect Veil was more needed than Krisk, I might have gone Duchess first. But since I picked Krisk, Duchess went on Scratch because he thought it would be the ideal choice. I'm not sure about Old1 if he had Duchess or if he really preferred Necmo instead of something else, but Necmo is very, very strong for the Hydra as well. So I wonder on what kind of damage he'll be looking at through his own squad. So Necmo, Cisia, these two are very strong damage dealers. Ruel, I think is strong, but I'm not sure on how easy it will be to be keeping him healthy. With Ursala, you can keep him healthy and revive him, but I'm not sure how he can keep healthy with everything that's going to be happening on the board. But I think Necmo will make sure that Ruel is taking a lot of turns and doing as much damage as possible with the hexes that he brings to the board, and also the damage that he can provide. Cisia will be doing a lot of damage on herself, so it's a matter of how long these teams survive in terms of maxing out their damage. So let me continue with my picks so we don't drag this on too long, guys. So my next pick after all of this, so Duchess was gone, Mithrala, Mighty Uko, Royal Guard, so a lot of damage was gone. Tuhanag, and then Mishinagi was gone. I was so sad about that. Geomancer, Cardiel, I didn't have, so I didn't care. Ugo, again, very strong for the block buffs. Supreme Galek, this is an insane champion to have available. Only a couple of us had him, so it was Scratch and Odd One that had Supreme Galek to even have the chance of using him. So yeah, when it came to Scratch's choice, he picked it because he had it, and it's very strong. Activation of HP burns, block buffs. I don't even remember what other things Supreme Galek has, but he's an insane champion for the Hydra. Then Sisia was what I wanted to pick, but Odd One picked it right before me, so I had to go the other side. So it was Tila with Hex, Steal of Buffs, HP Burn, and HP Burn extension on her kit. Very strong, in my opinion. And then Hell Hades went ahead and did a double pick of Venus Cupidus to give him a lot of edge there in terms of damage. So I went ahead and went the defensive route with Sifi. So at this point, I had basically 0 damage. With Tila, it's the HP burns, but I needed more damage. So everybody kept on picking. So Lydia went off, and then people started doing things like provokes and block buffs. Lady Kimi was picked. Skull Lord was picked. So what I had a choice is I need more damage. So Mashal seemed like a good choice for me. And then Gnishag, again, a very solid choice because of the added decreased attack and not the bombs really, but his poisons can actually do some solid damage. So Gnishag is actually a good choice for the Hydra. And then finally, I ended it up with Bivol the Thorn as a more guaranteed way for me to have the provokes up. Krisk is good for the provokes, but I found I can't really do the provokes if I don't have other gear that I currently use. So I don't have something like maybe a provoke set to use on Krisk. I have 0 provoke sets. I don't farm, and I don't want to farm Ice Golem for this. So I don't have something that would enable my Krisk to be the one provoking all the time. So I had to go with another provoke here. So Bivol, and that was my pick basically. So these are the champions that I picked in the end, as you saw, and everybody in their own, attempt to make the perfect team for Hydra picked it. But I think even if you guys were in my position, after the first round of picks, everything goes out of the window because of how you're trying to piece things together when you're building a team. So when I was building that, guys, I had this Excel. While we had the stream, I had this Excel worksheet made already. So beforehand, it was my preparation. Okay, this was my preparation. I wrote down the role. So top tier champions that I thought would be picked. So Krisk, Sifi, Duchess, Ugo was my top tier in my view, which I also had available. Okay, I had most of these champions. Some of them I don't have. Then for block buffs, I considered we have Uko, Archbishop, Kimi, Kantra. All of those were picked. Whenever one champion was picked, I would highlight it in red. And as things were going, we had the damage also going through. So a lot of damage went through from here. I didn't expect Elder Skarg or Ronda not to be picked. These are kind of solid champions, I would say, for the Hydra. And then we had HP Burn champions. A lot of these went. We had Mordecai, Scrang, and Crypt King also in my list here, just as additional HP Burns. But with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 picks available, somebody would have picked more than one. I think it was the Cupidus Venus. Yeah, Cupidus Venus, somebody picked more than one. And then we had the attack downs, Coronar, Necmo, Tuhanark, I thought pretty strong picks. Lydia with defense down weekend, only one I thought would be the strongest one. Is also Venus, but Lydia does also the strengthen, so it's pretty solid choice. Strengthen plus increased speed. And then we had more support champions. So this was my list. I had this available for myself as I was typing it down, and when the stream started, I was just taking things off. I was trying to see, okay, what do I need next for my team? What do I need next? Provokers. Do I really need another provoker? I was between Molly and Bivol as my last choice, but I went ahead and did Bivol. And Molly is solid for Terminator, giving you more Terminator, but Bivol is pretty strong as well for the guaranteed provoke that he can provide. Honestly, though, maybe Molly could have been better. But Bivol has 2 chances of provoking, and he can even provoke through weak hits. So he's kind of stronger in that sense. But Molly only has it in her own kit. So that was my thinking behind the draft, guys. And how everything will go, we'll have to see, okay? Today will be either my first fight or my last fight. It's going to be fun. I'm currently not on the test server. I'm on the live server. I haven't even done my normal Hydra keys, but you can see the potential of damage coming in from different teams, all right? So what are we going to see in terms of, let's say Hades. Hades, who's got Cubitus Venus. He's got pretty strong squad here, but we have a limit of 500,000 in power. So he won't be able to beef it up as this guy did for 63 million. So is he going to do less than that? Who knows? Who knows? Because Hades does not only have Venus and Cubitus, he also has a Husk in there for additional damage. From here, we see that the Cubitus did like 16 million. This one did 27 million. Venus did on her own a lot of damage. So there's a lot of potential there coming in for Hades. Just from these 2 champions. And then for, let's think of YST. YST is the one I'll be fighting. This guy, Jug Hub, did his run. This might have been like an auto run, by the way. These runs might have been auto runs. So if you do an auto run, you don't care. You know you're going to get a 1 key, so you don't really care. So if they didn't do manual runs, the potential can even be double this damage. Who knows? Who knows, honestly? I believe we're going to see lots of insane damage numbers coming in from all of the teams, starting today and tomorrow when the lives will be going on. But Mishinagi, look at the damage Mishinagi did. 17 million damage, more than Husk, who's an enemy max HP damage dealer. More than Husk. Just think about that. That is insane. Insane damage potential coming in. We've got Big D. I guarantee that this guy did an auto run with this one. He didn't even care. And then some other teams, this guy is pretty much, I believe, stopped after they got their 1 key. So for Nightmare, it's kind of the same thing for Nightmare. You just run the key and you just let it run and wait it out. Wait out the damage. But you see here, like the Mishinagis again with the Valkyrie. I had Valkyrie in my support list, and Shamael, this guy did 70 million, pretty easy. But look at that, Mishinagi, so strong. So if all goes well, guys, today, if all goes well in my own with my own Hydra team, if all goes well, I'll be able to pick Mishinagi. And this is my current Mishinagi that I have, which is not using my best gear. I use him for brutal, but not with my best gear. So he's a 5-star awakened Mishinagi. So I would pretty much run him like so with Relentless, and then try and get his damage and defense higher than this. This is with my secondary or 3rd gear kind of runs, and also with refresh accessories just to help with his cooldown. So who I'll be replacing, I have no idea if I win. But I'm very interested to see what everybody will be doing. It will be a long stream, so yeah, pretty much bring in your good pillows while you're watching this. And I hope you do enjoy it, guys. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of interesting things can happen in a live Hydra run environment where, who knows, something might get messed up or something might go perfectly well with Relentless gear. Extra turn after extra turn after extra turn, giving you insane amounts of damage, giving you the edge over the opponent. Who knows? I love running Relentless gear, so that might happen for me. But others, I don't know how they do their Hydra runs. I probably expect everybody to run Relentless on their max HP nukers. So yeah, we'll have to see. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be posting a video later about something really special. So keep an eye on the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. See ya.